Plants vs. Zombies is a game everyone loved. It's almost a poetic how timeless it is as well and how it ended. I absolutely love the original Plants vs. Zombies and Garden Warfare 2. They're easily the best in the series, but PvZ 2, it's the middle child. People like it, just not as much. But for the rest, they're like distant cousins you avoid at a family gathering. And the Battle of Norberville, I think I'm saying that correctly? I don't know, it's a weird spin-off of Garden Warfare 2. It's the third one, but they added a weird spin to it. It's like the weird uncle who stopped getting invited to parties, and honestly, that's for the best. Everybody's favorite thing about a game is the customizations and the skins that you're able to obtain, and that's what makes a game fun and enjoyable, an amazing time with your friends or anybody else around you, in my opinion. So you can look different from all the other characters and look dumb,
connect to the item server, and then
or look really cool, or look really funny. That's what I like about games with customizations. And I would like to add the variants of characters as well, because I would like to count them as customizations. They don't look the same from the characters, but they're different, but their abilities are different with effects. And it's kind of a gray area for variants, I want to say, because they look different, but they have different type of skills, in my opinion. And I think that's fine, in my opinion. But I think if they added a lot more variety in the mobile games, like PvZ2, the failure, I would like to make that game even more fun for PvZ2 if they didn't make the game with such a big-ass paywall. It's so huge. Why does it have to be so big? Why does it have to be so expensive? Questions that we'll never get answers to. But I think if they let you use coins when you finish a level or you earn them, you can buy packets to have customizations or new plants to be unlocked, like they do in Garden Warfare 2 and 1. And it doesn't have to be like big stuff or the plant. It could just be like hats from TF2 or something like TF2. Their hats would be a good choice to make because there are a lot of cool hats you can use, and each plant can look different from the last. I would like to talk about the different variety of plants as well, like the elemental plants, or even the plants that have 3 heads, 2 heads. At this point, now we're thinking about a hydra. We're talking about a literal hydra plant. That would be even cooler. all the plants on one little bud. Tons of different heads. Anyways, for elemental plants, I don't think there should be so many of them. I don't know if it's because there's so many different variety of the plants, or it's the mix of elemental plants of both of them that makes it really overwhelming. But I think if they got rid of them, it would make the game a lot more enjoyable and not so confusing and not so much money to use and not so many plants to have. But for that, if they decided to make like a world with 10 levels for the elemental plants, that would be fun because you get introduced to elemental zombies as well. That would even be even cooler if that was just a whole level dedicated to it and you get sprinkled with them in there. I think that would be really awesome if they did that. Each level would have a couple of elemental zombies and you have to use elemental plants or it will take longer. I don't know. I think that would be cool.
Name?
Me.
Yes, you.
I am me. He's me. And I'm you.
And I'm about to whoop your old ass, man, because I'm sick of playing games. You, me?
So, PvZ2 and PvZA. What? You don't know what PvZA is? Well, I'll tell you real quick. Plants vs. Zombies Adventures. That's the name. So anyways, there's some interesting history between the two. Well, PvZA was the second game, and what I mean is PvZ2 is a precursor of PvZA. The reason why I say this is because PvZA was made in May 20th, and then PvZ2 was made in August 15th. And this was back in 2013, and this was like 4 months apart from each other. You want to know the funny thing about PvZA, while we're on the subject, is that number 1, it was a Facebook game, and number 2, it lived a lifespan of a year. And number 3, it was consistently getting updated. So why did they shut it down? Well, like I said, it was posted on Facebook. So it wasn't really getting out there much. With that, they made PvZ 2. So like I said, 4 months later, new game popped up. An actual game they made. They're both actual games they made. So they stopped updating and shut down PvZA on October 12th, 2014. And I'll give you a short story of PvZA. So here we go. PvZA, for the long name, is Plants vs. Zombies Adventures. You're traveling with Crazy Dave in an RV around the world. You still had to protect Dave, but in an RV. The game was a tower defense. It was made strictly for tower defense, and how they did it had a twist of the game. The zombies would still kill your plants, but you can, and like I said, you can revive your plants in this one, and that's even cooler. So when they get eaten, you're able to, well, bring them back to life. So if they get eaten or not revived, you had to grow your plants again. Because you gotta, they were eaten and they weren't revived, so you had to stock up on the plants that you have to grow. They didn't take too long to grow, but it was quick enough that you could still play again, or in this one it had microtransactions. But it wasn't very much. It's not like how it is in PvZ2, where it's like a lot of paywalls. This one had very few, and you got like mixed number of plants, and it wasn't so many of them like in PvZ2 has them. PvZA seemed like a game that could have lasted if they actually made it into a whole game itself, and the company actually kept on going with it instead of PvZ2. PvZA was the better version of PvZ2, a lot better concept than PvZ2 ever will be. Hopefully at some point in the future they will bring back PvZA again. I would love to see that. And also, I did forget one thing. Yes, sunflower still drops suns, so you're able to use it for your plants. That whole concept, that whole system, is still there. And honestly, I wish they went with PvZA. It looked like the fun game. I didn't get a chance to play it, but looking at screenshots and looking at videos of people playing it, it looked like, well, tower defense. It looked really good. It's another step for PvZ, but they kind of took a step back and didn't do that concept, so they went with PvZ2, going different dimensions, going to different places. I think that's all cool, but if they did it with PvZA, I think the concept would have been a lot better, and if they didn't overload it with so many different variants of plants and seeing 50 Shades of Pea Shooter over and over, I would not want to see that again. I'd rather see different designs and different concepts for plants, and maybe like 2 variants at most for plants, and that's about it. What am I saying? They had the bee shooter in there. It shot bees, and that was cool enough, and I was hooked when I saw that, and I wanted to play it. Sadly, it is gone. It doesn't exist. PvZA is a sitting duck on a shelf that will never be used. It's like the squeaky penguin from Toy Story, where he just sits on the shelf. That's pretty much PvZA right there. It just sits on the shelf and it doesn't do anything. And that's sad. That's really sad to see a game like that go.
You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
These two companies make the whole fan base of Plants vs. Zombies as divided as the Red Sea was. And I'm not going to talk too much about it. All I'm going to say, they're both greedy. They both don't know what they're doing. And I don't like either of them, no matter what. And that's all I'm going to say. It's a lot of shit. I can mistake and stuff, and people jump down my throat. And it's not that I'm scared. It's just I'm more scared that I won't get things right. And I think this is the best course of action to say, in my personal opinion. Any company is greedy. Any company that puts a paywall on everything, and you have to buy a certain item to only, like, excel into the levels, I think that's dumb. I think that's really stupid how games do that. Or any company does that. like I said, both companies are greedy. They both let people go, and that's all I'm gonna say, and that's all I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna move on to the next thing. And you know what that is? Your mom.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine.
So what is my conclusion to it all? Well, companies gotta start making better games and less paywalls, like we said in the PopCap and EA. Which one's worse? Both of them are worse, let's be honest. Any company that has that type of shit, or any companies like that, is gonna be worse than any other company. One is gonna be better, yes, but there's gonna be slightly, like, different stuff, and maybe it's worse than the other one. I don't know how that stuff goes. I don't try to dig into it. I didn't really want to dig into EA and PopCap, because I'm going into waters that I don't know very much about, but I have a basic idea with both companies, what they do, and what are the similarities in what they do. They do let people go, there's that, and they do fire people, and they do bring in new people, and get rid of the people who knows what to do. That's just gonna happen with any company. Honestly, that's just my stuff, my opinion. Maybe the games will get better. I do want to see PvZA back in to replace PvZ2 and its rightful heir. PvZA should have been the second game. Let's be honest here, it looks cool. But that is all I have to say. There's going to be no more episodic videos because I suck at those, and my reaction is as good as a plank of wood watching paint dry. It is just not entertaining. There will be more videos like this, maybe less about this, but more about actual playing the games and diving into them. So, see you later, bye bye!